This program is sponsored by Numbers USA.
Warning, the following program has been rated T for truth.
You can't handle the truth!
Oh, we think you can. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report with your host, truth warrior and mythbuster Kathleen Wells. The place where we distinguish fact from fiction, where data is used to drive points home, and where Kathleen takes the position that Democrats and black politicians have destroyed black America. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Now, your host, Kathleen Wells.
Oh, happy, what is it? Let's see, what is today? February 20. Hello, this is the Kathleen Wells Show. No, this is the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells. There was a lot of traffic driving in today. I don't know why. Why so much traffic? What do you guys feel about, when I was driving in, I was listening to the, Steve Garvey was being interviewed by the host. And so there was a debate, that we're voting. I think it's March 5th, if I'm not mistaken. It's Tuesday. We're voting, and the issue is for the Senate is one of the things. Also, we're voting for lesser offices, but we're voting. And also, I was listening to the guy who's running against Gascon for the district attorney. I think his name is, what is it? Atami, I think that was his name. Jonathan Atami. He sounded pretty reasonable, right? I want to look him up. I intend to vote. Do you guys intend to vote? So we're voting for the seat that Dianne Feinstein left, and I can't believe that folks. Who's leading? Adam Schiff. Can you imagine? Steve Garvey is coming in second. That's what I just heard driving in. But the notion that people are actually Californians are voting for Adam Schiff is absurd. In other words, Californians still think the Democratic Party is kosher. How can they think that? They're not. They're brain dead. They're not paying attention. All they do is vote Democrat. Adam, how are Californians believing anything that the Democratic Party holds? How are Californians how are Democrats defending anything that Biden is doing? In fact, Italian TV they're mocking Joe Biden. You have to go on, you can see that on X. X is now Twitter, you guys know that. Italian TV is now mocking Joe Biden, and he pushes the red button. The nuclear, for a nuclear implosion. Is that how you say it? For a nuclear explosion. Disaster. Pushing the red button. That's Italian TV. So the whole world is laughing at Joe Biden. He is now a national security threat. Everyone is laughing at Joe Biden. He suffers from mental acuity, mental degeneration. He's degenerating. It's obvious to everyone except people except Democrats trying to gaslight the American people. That's a movie. I think that's what Ingrid Bergman, Gaslight, and Charles Boyer, I think, am I not? It's Hitchcock, if I'm not mistaken. Gaslight. The Democratic Party has been gaslighting the American people forever and a day, and the Democratic Party is gaslighting Californians. Because the notion that why do people not like Trump? The only thing, what do they say about Trump? They say he's a narcissist, they say that he is they say he's a criminal, he's a rapist. They believe he's a rapist. These are the folks that call into Washington Journal. This is what they say. These people don't realize that the DOJ and FBI have been weaponized and is woke and is accusing a political opponent, precluding a political opponent, trying to preclude a political. This is election interference, right? They don't want Trump to run. They don't want Trump to win. That's all. That's the only card they have left in the bag, is to preclude Trump from running and from winning. Listen, if Trump wasn't running for president again, he wouldn't be facing any of these criminal charges. Why didn't Letitia James bring her lawsuit earlier if Trump was so guilty of these offenses? Right? Why would they wait? And what is so bothersome about all of this is that the Democrats, Trump haters, can't put two and two together. All these coincidences, all of these cases against Trump are brought now. Why? Because it's election interference. They don't want Trump to win. They don't want Trump to run. They don't want Trump to be president anymore. Why? Because he will reveal all their corruption. So these folks are selfish. The Democratic Party is selfish. They don't care about America. They could care less. We will see the corruption in Ukraine. The Ukraine war is a CIA proxy war. We know there's money laundering going on there, right? Bioweapon labs. That's why the Uniparty is insistent that we fund Ukraine. It is like it verges on it's actually diabolical that we fund Ukraine. Ukraine has already lost, folks. Ukraine, it's over. She's done, and she will never come back. That is clear when you listen to John Mearsheimer and Colonel McGregor. They both, you need to Google, I know you guys Google this stuff. Ukraine is finished. In fact, Zelensky just said that Ukraine lost 31,000 soldiers. That's not true. That's a lie. It's more like 500,000 soldiers have died. They can't find any more people to fight the Ukraine war. And I'm convinced that the media is a CIA operation. I am totally convinced. It's been hate Trump news for the 9 years straight, nothing else. They don't say anything positive. Washington Journal doesn't say anything positive about Trump ever. The only time they had something positive was when they had Ben Carson on. I've discussed this before. And he was on with Benjamin Crump, Washington Journal. Nothing in the media. And Fox News is like a psyops, or it's controlled opposition. Because they have some things that are positive to Trump, but then they have some things that are negative too. And because they can't say the 2020 election was stolen. They can't say it. They want you to believe it wasn't. That's gaslighting the American people. Not telling the truth is gaslighting the American people. And they're trying to still sell this Ukraine war. So the question I have for you guys, what do you feel about the election, the primary in South Carolina? So Donald Trump received 451,905 votes. He set the record for the most votes received in a South Carolina presidential primary. Can you imagine? He received, the last time in the primary in South Carolina, he got 240,882 votes. So he almost doubled this time. And yet they keep trying to sell to the American people that the American people don't want Trump. No, they don't want Biden, okay? But we definitely want Trump. Why? What is the main issue for you? The main issue for me, and this is how I started my radio show 5 years ago, the main issue for me is what? Illegal aliens. That's the main issue, right? And in fact, we saw, did you guys listen to CPAC? Did you watch CPAC? And is that how they say it, CPAC? Let's see, Stephen Miller was on CPAC, and he was talking about the illegal immigration. That's Stephen Miller's man. He's the illegal immigration guy. He knows this stuff backwards and forwards. And they and you see that Biden for 3 years and the Democrats for 3 years and Kamala Harris for 3 years said that the border was not open. They said the border is not open, and now you see what's happening. And then they tried to pass that invasion bill, codifying invasion into America, where 5,000 a week or something like that would be coming in. They passed that in the Senate, and they tried to pass it into the House. The House didn't even look at it, but that was their way of twisting things and blaming Republicans for saying, and Trump, they blame Trump too. Republicans don't want to close the border. They don't want to solve the problem regarding illegal aliens. As if the American people don't realize the Democrats have been telling us for 3 years that the border was not open. Now, all of a sudden that it's vote time, illegal aliens are a problem. And they're responding to public opinion because the public won't take it anymore. And that's the number one issue in the exit polls coming out of South Carolina, the border. That's the number one issue. So Stephen Miller, who was speaking at CPAC, he said that we got to seal the border and deport all illegal aliens. And the policies that will help implementing getting rid of all illegal aliens is finishing the wall, remain in Mexico policy, a robust prosecution of illegal aliens, interior reparation. How do you say that? Repatriation. How do you say that? repatriation. That's it. I'm not saying it right. Repatriate. How come I couldn't say that? Repatriate flights to Mexico and into the interior repatriation flights to Mexico and not back to the north of Mexico. In other words, you're having them fly back to the interior of Mexico as opposed to just letting them off in, the northern part of Mexico, like Tijuana or something. Re-implement Title 42. Re-implement Title 42, have a muscular travel ban. Several 212S. 212S is the travel ban authority. So that's authorizing a ban on traveling. And he wants several travel bans that are muscular like that. Establish a large scale stage grounds for removal flights. In other words, you grab the illegal aliens and remove them to the staging grounds, and that's where the planes are waiting to remove these illegal aliens back to their home. So you have a large scale stage where you have the planes waiting for illegal. These are the policies that are needed to be implemented to deport 10 million illegal aliens. Okay, you have to have policies in place to make that happen, and it has to happen on many levels, it has to happen simultaneously on many levels. I'll say it that. You deputize the National Guard to carry out immigration enforcement, and you deploy the military to the southern border for a pediment and denial mission, impeding people from coming over from the border. You use the military to do that. You reassert the fundamental constitutional principle that you don't have a right to enter into our sovereign territory to even request asylum claims. The military has a right to assert a fortress position on the border, and no one has the right to cross the border at all. It is amazing to me how the Democratic Party, they're wrong on everything, they're wrong in every way, how they embrace these narratives that are hate America policy. Democrat voters, Biden defenders, hate Americans and hate America. They're pretenders, they're phonies, they're frauds. And they want to put illegal aliens in a better position than American citizens. How does that make sense? They don't understand. Why are they so compassionate and so sympathetic to non-citizens? And you see, there's a woman, you see how everything is a slippery slope. I've said this before. So you see in San Francisco, they have this Chinese national who is now sitting on the Federal Elections Commission in San Francisco. Can you imagine? See, it's always slippery slope business. Creeping and creeping and creeping and creeping until they get what they want. And Democrat voters, Biden defenders, Trump haters must be brain dead, that they don't see what is happening to the society, to the culture, that they don't see how things are deteriorating. Right? And for instance, Gascon, who is the district attorney, the idea that he doesn't see what is happening in America, or in California rather. And I was listening. They were the guy who was interviewing when I was driving in. I think his name is Anthony. Is it Anthony? Anthony Atami. I think that's his name. Isn't? Yeah, it's Anthony. He was talking about how they're soft on crime. These DAs are soft on crime. They're soft on crime except for what? If they target Trump. Let's take a listen to Letitia James talking about how she's going to target Trump before she started to win her campaign. Can we listen to that audio?
He's called me venomous. We will fight back to your attempt to bring Trumpism to New York City. He's called me disgraceful. Of the fact that they stole the Supreme Court seat. called me radical. Listen, yes. We know he's crazy. Yes. We know he doesn't have a sound mind. Yes. We know he's out of control. Yes. We know he's losing it. Yes. We know his days are numbered and we will come together. He's called me a racist. We've got to stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. Thank you.
That was Letitia James. See, this is projection. For one, she said he calls me racist, and then she says too male, too pale, and too stale. So is Letitia James, I'm thinking she might be a lesbian, right? These people hate men. That's one thing that the Democratic Party, they have feminized everything. Feminism was the worst thing that ever happened to American culture. All you see on TV are these white liberal women and black liberal women who hate men. They don't have husbands. There's no way. And you see what's going on with Fani Willis. That was just Letitia James. And she has the nerve to call Trump racist. And she said they're too male, too pale. So they're anti-white. Why? Why are you so hating white people? What's your problem? Why do you have a chip on your shoulder about, and why? And then she said, what else did she say about Trump? He said she called me racist. And, I can't remember the other thing. But it's projection. Did she say he was a narcissist? No. She said he wasn't of sound mind. Letitia James is not of sound mind. Why does she believe that she can bring this action against Trump? This one really bothers me. All the cases against Trump really bother me, but this one is particularly egregious. Why? Because it's so obviously obvious fraud. It's so obvious unconstitutional. It's so obvious third world type stuff, going after your political opponent like that. This woman campaigned on going after Trump. That in and of itself seems unconstitutional, and she should be brought up on ethics charges, right? And this excessive bail amount, it violates the Eighth Amendment. And they won't even allow, they have a personal vendetta against Trump. Her and New York City residents are as bad as Californians. Gavin Newsom said recently, what did he say? Nikki Haley is a good thing because she points out the bad thing. She what is the word I want to use? I lost the word. She prosecutes, or she rather, she shows how Trump is like a bad thing. She prosecutes the war. I don't want to use the word prosecute. She shows you how Trump is a bad thing. So she's good for Democrats, Nikki Haley. This is a bad thing having Nikki. Why is Nikki Haley even staying in the race? Why? Because she hopes that something unexpected happens, and so she sneaks in. This is what I'm thinking. So this is a bad thing. But, and then we see what's going on with Fani Willis. They now have the phone records that they have geotracked Nathan Wade visiting Fani Willis's office. She's caught in perjury trap because they lied and they said Nathan Wade, she said that he had only been to her house, her condo, like 10 times or less. And that they have geotracked his phone in her neighborhood 35 times. And Fannie is saying, well, that's not relevant because you don't know if he was necessarily going to my condo. He may have been just in the area. Well, they use geotracking to get the January 6th folks, right? So I think it is very relevant. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? This is the other thing I want to mention. The American Red Cross is now asking blood donors if they ever received the COVID vaccine. And if you answer yes, they want you to call ahead to see if you're still eligible. Didn't they tell us the vaccine was safe and effective? So why do you have to call ahead? Why is the Red Cross asking you if you had the vaccine before you can donate blood? So what's that about? All of this is going to unravel. It's all been so diabolical. It's all so obvious, and they're not even trying to hide what is going on. And the CIA controls the legacy media. And so you must be involved with alternative media to know what's going on. Everything that you get from the legacy media is propaganda and lies. And so you shouldn't even waste your time listening to it. You got to check out alternative media. I hope all of us are able to do that so we know what's going on, because otherwise we're just listening to lies. And there's so many things to be disappointed in, but I think like the Ukraine war, that was a waste of money. And they're still trying to make that happen. That's gaslighting. That's CIA stuff. And this has been going on for decades, actually, for years. They've been dealing in Ukraine. It's a money laundering scheme there. But I think the illegal alien thing is the biggest thing for me, because that's how I started my show, talking about how illegal aliens adversely impacted Black Americans and all Americans. And now you see how bad it is, right? It is so bad. It's out. And then I wanted to mention this, the woman that was killed, the nursing student who was killed by the illegal alien. I want to read this. What was her name? Let me see if I can find that. You know, the woman, I think it was in Georgia. Let's see. What is her name? I don't have her name. The facts of Laken Riley murder. She was killed by an illegal alien. These are the facts of the Laken Riley murder. The suspect crossed the border illegally in El Paso in 2022. He was apprehended and then released. The suspect was then arrested in Queens on September 14th, 2023 for injury to a child and having no license. The suspect and his brother were cited in Athens, Clarke County, which is in Georgia, on October 27, 23 for shoplifting. The suspect had an outstanding bench warrant in Athens, Clarke County as of December 20th for failing to appear in court on the shoplifting charges. The suspect's brother was charged yesterday by federal authorities for possessing a fraudulent green card. The suspect's brother was arrested in Athens, Clarke County on September 23rd, 25th, 2023 for DUI, driving without a license, speeding, open container, and failure to yield to an emergency vehicle. He was arrested again in December. Who contributed to the tragedy? Federal government. The federal government, this is the murder by an illegal alien, okay, of Riley, Laken Riley. She was murdered by an illegal alien. And I believe this case will galvanize more Americans. The federal government, open border policies, and active efforts to prevent states from securing the border have resulted upwards of 7 million illegal immigrants flowing into the country over the last 3 years, including the suspect in this case, who was detained and released by federal authorities. Local government. The Athens Clarke County government passed a resolution in 2019 stating that all people, including those without documentation, feel welcome and comfortable interacting with local law enforcement, their local government, and all services provided as such. They said that undocumented neighbors, especially those of Latinx heritage, face daily fears and threats from individuals and institutions such as ICE. I'll read the rest when we come back from the break. This is the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells, and we'll be right back.
They rain and they snow on everyone.
Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells. We were talking about the murder of Laken Riley by the illegal alien in Georgia. Athens, Clarke, Georgia. So this is the other issue. So the local government is to be blamed. The federal government is to be blamed. They're guilty. They're culprits in the murder of this young woman by an illegal alien. The federal government, the local government, and the local prosecutor. The local prosecutor, the district attorney in the Western Judicial District Circuit that covers Athens, Clarke County, was elected in 2020 on her first day. You see, this is the globalist plan. These Democrats Democrat politicians are globalists. They want us to be world citizens and to be controlled by the globalists. We're serfs, essentially. So the district attorney in the Western Judicial Circuit that covers Athens-Clarke County was elected in 2020. On her first day in office, she announced that she would take into account collateral consequences to undocumented defendants before deciding whether to charge criminals. She also repeatedly failed to secure convictions in murder and rape cases and has only a handful of attorneys left in the office due to mass resignations. That's sort of like Gascon's, the DA's office, Gascon. That's sort of like these are what Soros prosecutors. You see how all our institutions are invaded by, are infiltrated by these Marxists that George Soros has put in place. All our institutions, our judicial system, our educational system, our federal government, academic, everything, medical profession. These folks, this cult, you see, everything comes out too late. The Red Cross won't even take you if you've been vaccinated. They won't take your blood if you've been vaccinated. The media institution, infiltrated by Marxists. The prosecutors, soft on crime, Gascon is one of them, a Marxist, a globalist. They're destroying America. And you see, and this is why Trump's numbers doubled from when he was in the primary last year in South Carolina. His numbers almost doubled because people are waking up. But let me tell you, enough Californians aren't waking up because Schiff is number one in the polling for Feinstein's seat, for the Senate seat. So Californians are not waking up to realize they're brain dead, okay? Their brain is broken. They're not connecting the dots. Listen, we don't want to be globalists. We want America first. We want America, and all Americans should, if they had their heads on right, they would be thinking straight. They would want America first instead of the globe. Cornel West is like a globalist. He's like, he wants to be president of the world. Oh, they care about the whole world. The world is laughing at Biden, but they care about the whole world. You see the Italian TV is mocking Biden. Everyone knows that this man is at a position of diminished capacity. It's a mental acuity. It's not age, because Trump is 77 years old and his mind is sharp as a tack. And everything is projection. You heard Letitia James' audio. She projects on him what she is. They say, Democrats always say, oh, Trump had to read his note when he was thanking his supporters and his family. He had to read his family. Trump is so sharp mentally and so energetic. He looks like he's slimmed down even. But Trump has it going on. Not only that, he's the man that has revealed all this diabolical stuff, dark cabal, globalist crap, swamp creature stuff that's been going on. He's the one that disclosed this to the American people, because believe me, we didn't know it was this bad, this deep, and this broad. We didn't know that, right? Now we see what's going on, and that's why they're resisting him so much. He's like a political dissident. This is like third world communist country type business. Attack your political opponent, right? Let's take a call now from Linda. Hi, Linda. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Hi. First, they got to get rid of this jungle primary. I can't stand it. They put it in a way that we have to just vote for, the Republican that is, along with Democrats alongside. It should be separate.
Well, tell me why you don't like it?
Because it should be separate, like it used to be. Republicans, vote, in their separate primary.
Oh, so
and Democrats vote in their second primary.
Because you think it's confusing, you think?
This is just all mixed up.
Anything to add to the confusion.
Plus, when I'm looking, at my sample ballot, like under United States Representative, there are 2 Republicans there. I don't even know who they are. I'm going to have to vote for one of them.
Right.
And the rest of most of them are Democrats, and 3 of those Democrats are Mike Fearer, Laura Friedman, and Anthony Portantino.
Who is
They're the worst ever.
Oh, what was that noise? Your phone?
Yeah, I'm going in another room.
Oh.
I'm going in another room.
Okay. So, but you are going to vote for Steve Garvey, right?
Yeah, I am.
And then I just heard this. Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
What was that?
And I just heard Anthony Atami. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. When I was driving in, he was being interviewed for DA, and he sounds pretty good.
I was going to ask you, between Anthony Portantino and Hochman, out of the 2, do you know who has the most votes?
What do you mean the most votes?
Because the way this is set up with the jungle primary, I have to vote for who has the most votes because
how would we haven't
just be on the safe side.
Who I don't think I don't know whose name you're saying. I think they're running for the what names did you say again? Repeat them.
Along with the Tommy, Nathan Hoffman.
Oh, Anthony Atami. I think that's the interview. I just heard that interview, and he sounded pretty good.
Anthony Tommy.
Yeah.
And there's Nathan Hoffman. Do you know which one right now is ahead?
How you mean in terms of the polls? In terms of the polls?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. But I liked what he was saying, Anthony Atami. I don't know him. I've got to do some more investigation, but I heard the interview and he explained his upbringing and why he's tough on crime. He's tougher on crime than Gascon, and Gascon tried to be soft on crime. We want someone tough on crime because crime is out of control.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But the way this is set up, with this jungle primary, I need to know who has the most votes, just to be on the safe side.
Well, do you have a computer?
Because the way it works for the jungle primary is winner just takes all out of the 2 that's on there.
I don't know what you mean. Explain it better.
Okay. The way this jungle primary works, there's a mixture of Democrat, Republicans, there's maybe some independent, and the way it runs with a jungle primary, it's not a regular primary, it's a jungle primary. The way this runs with a jungle primary is that winner take all, out of the 2 to go to the top. It's not like, a particular party like it used to be in the primary.
Oh, so you're saying whoever has the most votes wins?
Yeah, before it used to be, whoever has the most votes in the Republicans, win. Whoever has the most votes in the Democrats win, separate.
Right.
Now it's all mishmash.
Right. I get what you're saying. And Steve Garvey is number 2, and let's hope that he gets to number 1, right? I mean, the idea that Adam Schiff is even in this liar, this pathological liar, this Trump hater.
If he wins, I know he'll go after Trump again.
He's going to go after Trump again. In fact, the Democrats are even presuming Trump wins and get into office. They're going to start precluding him from being effective. They're trying to they're even going to try to not certify the election for Trump if he wins. Can you imagine? I mean, they play.
They could do that.
I just saw that. They just play them. Democrats they're such bandits. They're so illegitimate. They're going to try to, if Trump wins, they're going to decertify him from holding the office. That's what I read. That's their latest plan. Okay, Linda, let me take the next call.
There will
Hi.
be a civil war.
I know. Let's take the next call. Thank you. Hi, Carlos. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Well, good evening. You know, the name Schiff scares me. I don't know if this Schiff is related to the Schiff family, the bankers that financed the Bolshevik Revolution. They probably are related.
I don't know.
And also the same family, the Schiff, that started the NAACP, which is, the human rights movements, which are going to be geared into anarchy. We have this upcoming civil war. So that scares me. I wouldn't touch him. I stay away from that guy. Now, correct me, is Garvey running against him?
Garvey is. I just heard his interview. He's running in the Senate seat to replace Dianne Feinstein, and he's coming in second. Adam Schiff is 1, Garvey is 2, Katie Porter is 3, and then Barbara Lee is last. We have the election coming up March 5th, Tuesday.
I'm glad you reminded me. I'll be voting for Garvey.
Yes, I'm going to vote for Steve Garvey.
I just read an article how the United Nations, with our money, our tax money, is sending money to all these NGOs, which are financing the transition of all these illegals from all over the place. They're giving them vouchers and money.
Yeah.
Travel. Organizations like he got from the Catholic Church, the Luther Relief,
right.
Also the Hebrew Immigration Society. Well, you got all these NGOs, and of course you got the CIA involved through the Agency for International Development. They're all coordinating this whole thing. It's very sickening.
Yeah, and can you imagine if things are set, or things remain as they are? Can you imagine how the future of your children and grandchildren will be in America? How it will be?
Well, we're going to be slaves of the globalist monopoly.
Exactly.
And that's what the massive immigration is all about.
Yes, it's a globalist plan.
In the old days, when I came here, we used to have the Pasero program, which was very good, limited immigration. But now this massive, chaotic, disorderly thing, all it's doing is integrating all societies, whereby societies lose their vestiges, their culture, their language,
and their sovereignty,
their identity.
Yeah, we're going to lose it. We're going to be a globalist entity with globalist institutions in charge of our medical decisions. In fact, Biden may sign that treaty that gives the WHO authority over our medical decisions. And you see now that Red Cross won't even take blood that has been vaccinated. You see, it's all miserable.
Well, the WHO was initially funded by the Rockefellers, who are one of the supreme globalist families. In fact, David Rockefeller once said, "I am an internationalist, so what? What are you going to do about it?"
Right.
I'm proud of it. He said that. David Rockefeller.
Okay, I got a lot of calls. Let me take another call from Dave. Hi, Dave. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Hi, Kathleen. I just like to give people hope, and I like to think strategically. Now, right now, what we need to do, and what I heard is that young people are really worried about the economy, so we go after them on that. We go after crime. Republicans win on a crime issue, and the doggone Republican California GOP needs to get better at marketing. But how can we do that? We ourselves, Kathleen, and I know this for a fact 'cause I've done this. The sidekick system, California GOP, you get on that. You sign up for that. You don't have to follow the script. You can say what you want. Your phone number.
Okay, Dave, you said that before. Let me take a new call from Karen. Hi, Karen. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Hello, Kathleen.
Hi.
I just wanted to correct you. The candidate for district attorney is Jonathan Hatami. I just came back from a meet and greet with him, and I've got to tell you, I'm very impressed. He wants to create, and I'm not a hired hand or anything. I just came back as in Sherman Oaks. He had a meet and greet. He wants to put inpatient drug and mental health facilities in county jail. He wants to unravel Prop 47 and put drug courts back in. So if you are in possession of drugs, you have an alternative of going to jail or going to rehab. And he wants to really reinforce not the $950 shoplifting and retail theft laws before you get prosecuted, but we'll go back down before Prop 47 to the $400 limit. And as a small business owner in the San Fernando Valley, I got to tell you, I was impressed with this guy. But his name is Jonathan Hatami, and you're right. You heard him on a radio interview. I've heard him on a few interviews and listened a little bit to the debate there's one more debate coming up, I think. But I got to tell you, I don't really call you, although I met you at an AFA conference a while back. But I got to tell you, this man is the real deal, and he has he's grown up in this city. He's former military, and his wife's an officer for the deputy for the LA County. And I was so impressed with it's rare you see integrity. And I heard it tonight. And when you mentioned his name, I just wanted to support you in getting the word out.
Yes, I heard the interview with him, and I was very impressed by it, and I think it's a good thing. So it's Jonathan Hatami, Hatami?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, listen, folks, he's worth... Vote for Jonathan Hatami. If you listen to him, he sounds sensible, common sense. Steve Garvey, we're going to be voting on March 3rd, March 5th, Tuesday. Let's take Rose now in Marina Del Rey. Hi, Rose.
Wayne, I love your show. Yes, it's Jonathan Hatami, and I have a very close friend who was an assistant DA who put in for early retirement because she couldn't work with Gascon, and that is her choice. She knows the other candidates pretty well, and Jonathan is a really good person. He was a child, I guess you called him child prosecutor against crimes against children.
All right.
And he has his heart in the right place, and he can do the administrative part of the office because it's a very big office. It has it used to have over 1,000 assistants, right? But many of them jumped ship because of Gascon.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's part of, the office problem right now administratively. Nobody really wants to work with Gascon. So many of them left, put in for early retirement, and it's a problem. There's over, what I hear, 12,000 cases that have been not filed on Gascon's desk, meaning he's just sitting on them.
Uh-huh.
And what will happen is the statute of limitations will run.
And Gascon is actually running again. Can you imagine?
Can you believe he has the nerve? Well, here's the other part of the coin.
These folks are arrogant, like Fannie Willis.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are very arrogant, and they have groups behind them that give them strength. And then he gets the backing of the LA Times, believe it or not.
Right. Oh, my gosh.
What are these people thinking?
They're not thinking. Their brain is broken.
So what I hear, and I don't mean to sound like I know it all, but if he wins, it's just going to be a disaster. It's already
a disaster.
A little disaster.
Yeah.
But it'll be a tsunami.
Right.
And I think Jonathan Hatami he's Christian. His wife's a sheriff. He's a good guy, and I think he can handle administratively working with all of the assistant DAs.
Okay.
So thanks for letting me voice my opinion, and love your show.
Okay, Rose, thank you very much. And Irene, thank you. Irene, welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Irene?
Oh, yes, hi. Good evening. Yes, I also attended that event, and I'm very impressed with Jonathan Hatami with an H. And I see the signs at businesses and at people's homes, and I I really like this man, and I'm voting for him. And also, I'm voting for Tony Rodriguez. He's in my district, and he wants to keep the White Man Airport open. They have a wonderful pilot school for the kids, and they need to keep that airport open. And they're trying to shut it down, and for reasons of emissions, which is a very ridiculous reason. And we need it for the kids. Our kids, they need to have. We need more pilots, obviously, and it's a good school program, and I'd hate to see it, be gone. And he's a family first man, and he's a good man.
What his name is? What?
Tony Rodriguez.
Tony Rodriguez, and he's running for
Assembly in District 4. He's in my district, and so if you know anybody, be sure and have them vote for Tony Rodriguez.
And that's
He's
district. What district is that?
It's District 4 for me.
Which area? And, where is that located exactly?
That's Sunlintahunga, Sun Valley.
Okay.
And areas. Let me see. I have it right here. It's Burbank, Glendale, La Crescenta, Montrose, Sunlintahunga, and parts of Latuna Canyon, Sun Valley.
Okay, Irene, thank you very much for calling into the Naked Truth Report. I'm Kathleen Wells, your host, and this is the Naked Truth Report. Thank you very much.
Looked at clouds that way.
Numbers USA is the largest grassroots advocacy organization in the United States with over 8 million members and supporters. Numbers USA's sole focus is immigration, and it believes better immigration policy is both needed and possible. Founded solely by author Roy Beck in 1996 to champion the recommendations of the National Commission on Immigration, chaired by civil rights icon Barbara Jordan. In his latest book, Back of the Hiring Line, Roy Beck clearly shows how high immigration has, in wave after wave, adversely and disproportionately impacted Black American jobs and wealth. Today, America is faced with an unprecedented influx of illegal immigrants flooding into our country by the millions. This influx disproportionately impacts Black Americans as well as first-generation Latino Americans and legal immigrants lawfully pursuing naturalization. Numbers USA continues to advocate for sensible immigration policies that ensures American safety, promotes economic fairness while protecting the environment and quality of life. To get a copy of Roy's book, Back of the Hiring Line, visit backofthehiringline.com or on Amazon and learn more about Numbers USA. Take action and get involved now by logging on to numbersusa.com. That's numbersusa.com.